Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I am Michelle. So today I'm going to be making a recipe that I have made before. This is one of our favorites. It is a Kielbasa veggie sheet pan dinner from 12tomatoes.com, but of course I have adapted it based on our tastes here. So I'm going to start with introducing the ingredients that you're going to need in order to make this recipe. So first you're going to need dried basil, dried thyme, dried oregano, paprika, little potatoes, or you could cut up regular sized yellow potatoes or a mixture of potatoes, baby carrots, garlic. You could use fresh garlic if you want, but the kind that is just in a jar like that is fine. 1 red onion, a bunch of asparagus, kielbasa. Now, normally you just need 1 package. I am going to be cooking a little bit extra today. And then kosher salt, black pepper, onion powder, and olive oil. So here in the bowl now I have measured out some of those ingredients I was just telling you about. So we have a combination here of 1/2 tablespoon of dried basil, 1/2 tablespoon of dried thyme, 1/2 tablespoon dried oregano, 1/2 tablespoon paprika, 3/4 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to stir all of those together. My onion powder is kind of chunked up there, so I got to kind of break it up a little bit, but that's okay. Not a biggie. Ooh, that's kind of a bigger one. I'll have to take care of that in a minute. Anyway, you want to combine all of that as best you can, or set that aside for just a moment. The next thing you're going to want to do is, in a larger bowl, you're going to be taking those baby carrots. You need 8 ounces of the baby carrots, or small carrots, and you can peel them and cut them. You want them to be about this size. So what I did was I was just cutting the pieces in half. Some of them are really small, so I didn't have to do that. But you don't want them to be a really, really thick carrot. And then for the potatoes, you want to half those. So make sure you've got those already. Oh, it is 1 pound of the potatoes. I almost forgot to say the quantity there. Once you have that, we're going to be putting in about half of our mixture here for the spices. Give it a little bit more mix there. It doesn't have to be exact. Just a pinch more. There we go. And then we will be putting in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Meanwhile, you will want to have your oven heating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to toss these all together to get them well coated with that olive oil and those seasonings. Smells good already. Once you've got those coated up pretty well, you'll want to have a large rimmed baking sheet. If it's nonstick, you can just leave it as is. It should be fine for these. But otherwise, if it's a regular one, you would want to line it with parchment paper or aluminum foil or something, or maybe just spray it. Either way, we don't want these to stick to it, of course. But we're going to spread those out as evenly as we possibly can. I'm going to grab a spatula really quick to get the rest of that good olive oil stuff out of there. Make sure we got all that seasoning on it. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. I know it wasn't very much, but so I'm going to make sure that these are all really spread out, because that way they'll get roasted really well in the oven. So for now, we're going to start off by putting them in there for 20 minutes. Okay, so meanwhile, while the other veggies are roasting, we're going to prepare the rest of them. Now, this has already a mixture. I've got some of the kielbasa here on here because I told you I was making extra because we always don't have quite enough, and my son really, really loves kielbasa, so I decided to make a little bit extra for him like that. So here in this bowl, you might be able to tell I've got my asparagus, which I broke basically in half, with a natural snap point. Did that for the whole bunch. And then there's 14 ounces plus a little bit extra of the kielbasa. 14 ounces is what the recipe actually is made for. And then there's 1 tablespoon of the minced garlic and that red onion sliced up like this. So what we're going to do is put the rest of that spice mixture that we made earlier in here. Freshen up that mixture a little bit. And this time we're going to put on 1 tablespoon of the olive oil. Again, we're going to mix that so that we can get those spices all distributed and coat it with that oil. Now you can wait until the other veggies have roasted for the 20 minutes, and you can just put this on the same sheet with them. But since I'm cooking a little extra and I like having it spread out a little bit more, I'm actually going to put it on this separate sheet here. Let's get this open just a little bit more. This is actually a modular sized sheet, so you can kind of make a little bit more room. It only has so much room though, so I can't make it too much bigger than what it is. So you can see that already takes up a pretty good amount of space. So personally, I like doing it with the 2-sheet method. So once that others come out at the 20 minutes, then we will be putting this sheet in along with it. We're going to take those out and stir them here in just a moment. All right, so these are the veggies that have been roasting for the 20 minutes. We're going to give those a stir around. As I said, you can make room and put some of yours. In fact, I think I'm going to, because this seems almost a little bit crowded, so I'm going to kind of put these over here just a little bit and distribute some of this onto the other sheet. After I do that, I'm going to return both pans to the oven for another 20 minutes. All right, so you can see that both pans have finished now. This is what it looks like once it has come out of the oven. So I'm going to be plating it. Of course, I'll just scoop up a little bit of each to put together. I try to kind of just smush it all there to combine. So I get a plate that's just full of our veggie goodness. And even though I know this is really fabulous already, I'm going to go ahead and do a taste test right here on camera. Dip the kielbasa. It's just so good. I really absolutely love the spice blend that's in this and everything, and it's just so easy that it doesn't make a whole lot of dishes. It's a really a fast thing to put together. I mean, it does take a little while to do the roasting part, so keep that in mind. But otherwise, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and that you will join me for another one soon here on Cuisine Michelle. Give us a like, a share, a subscribe, and all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Au revoir.